Head coach Antonio Pierce joins us. Coach, congrats on the win. And as it showed up in the stat sheet, everything went together correctly. How'd you see it?
Team effort. First complete team win. Complimentary football across the board from special teams. Came out the gate offensively, right? 17-play drive. Got right there. Wish we could have kicked, obviously scored a touchdown there, but obviously we got points on the board. And then the biggest thing we always talked about is winning that middle eight, right? The last 4 minutes of the second quarter, going into the third quarter, thought we did a really good job there defensively, offensively, putting more points on the board. And then I thought we really imposed our will at the line of scrimmage. Both O-line and D-line, I thought, played their butts off, very physical. Kind of the approach we've been really hoping for all season long came to fruition on the road.
Let's get into Aiden, 242, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, his footwork, mobility. What'd you see?
I mean, just really good quarterback play. I thought he did a really good job of keeping his eyes down the field. O-line did a good job of protecting him. We only gave up 1 sack in that game, but his eyes stayed down the field. And for him, really good job just in the pocket awareness, moving around, not giving himself up, keeping his eyes down the field. Some big throws to Brock, to Trey Tucker down there in the end zone for a touchdown. I thought he was very poised, and he did exactly what we expected, right? We knew they would come on to cover 2 in a shell-type defense. He took what they gave us early on, took a lot of checkdowns, and then as the game kind of evolved, we took our shots down the field. And I really think that opened up our passing game, more importantly, our run game.
Let's spend some time on Ameer Abdullah. When I spend time with him in Costa Mesa about his longevity and his career, it just goes to show you, next man up, and at the end of the year, you're calling on him to do a lot more than you expected maybe in the beginning of the year.
30-year-old plus running back rushing for 100 yards first time in his career. How about that?
Something.
Right? He's a returner. He's just a specialist. Right. And he gets an opportunity. We always talked about it, within our team. Like, you never know when your number's going to get called. And look, this week said, look, Ameer's going to be the starter. And we go out there, and he makes some very critical third-down runs. I look at some of those plays. To me, those are the biggest plays in the game. Obviously, a really good receiver out the backfield, but stepped up in pass protection. Can't speak highly enough of a player like Ameer in year 10+, doing whatever the team asks him to do. And obviously, there's a lot of thread on those tires, but he looked like a young, fresh running back out there. And he really gave us that juice, talked to the team after the game. He's done a really good job, man, just from the leadership standpoint on a team that's very young. He's given us that, that long tooth and wisdom that we need.
Let's stay with that in your coaches, too, on how they coach other position groups when you look at a player like that and say, look, you could be a rookie, you could be a practice squad player, get called up. Watch this guy and what he's doing.
Yeah, I just think it's a testament to everybody because we're playing with such young guys, and it's easy to use that as an excuse, right? Why you're not winning, why things are not going your way. But that's not the case. I kind of relish in that. That really tells you a lot about your coaching staff and your team if you can bring along these younger players. Look, all our rookies dressed and played, right? All these guys that we drafted, undrafted guys that we brought from other teams, guys that we claimed, they keep stepping up. And I think, when you see this, first, second-year players, and you got your Colton Millers, your Robert Spillanes, you see these guys playing. So you got the guys that you can look up to, but then you got these young guys that's kind of wet around the ears, and they just want an opportunity, and they're making the most out of it.
From the second half of the year on, you and I spent a lot of time in this studio talking about Brock chasing a record. We're going to get him the ball, the targets, and all of that, and he's handled that well. What was it like for you in the locker room after the game with those 3 balls that he had for the 3 different records, and to finally look at this young man and say, okay, we did it, now it's on to the next game?
I'm just happy he took the picture. I'm just glad he actually gave us what we needed, take the picture and all that good stuff and be a part of it. And even ask him to break down the team. And, he's really quick, man. All he wants to do, I know the records we're talking about, is win games.
Yeah.
The guy's been a winner his entire college career. And he's not used to losing. And I know he gets all the stuff that we're talking about with catches, receptions. He just wants to win. And that's the happiest I've seen him in the locker room. A big smile, reminded me of the Baltimore game where he was really happy then as well. But I think when we do talk about his production, is really impressive because there's no hidden agenda what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're going to game, we're throwing the Brock.
Got to get it to him.
Got to get to him. And they're doubling him. He's got corners. He's got safeties. They're hitting him at the line of scrimmage, man, and he's just a relentless player. And the one thing about him, just an ultimate competitor. Right? It doesn't matter. You see him in the running game. He really takes toe. He understands that, look, he's catching over 100-plus balls. But, hey, there's some times we need you to go block that D in. You need to go get Chase Young, and he's doing that. And when you look at this season, I think when it's all over said and done, we're going to look at this was a special player that we really hit on in the draft in round 1.
Absolutely. I want to get into the travel. Fans travel all the time, and they don't have the luxury of a charter, but every once in a while something goes wrong. So take us through the timeline. You come back to the building. I haven't heard that before. You make the decision as a head coach. We're going to start our meetings because you can't do it in New Orleans. I got to assume the players aren't going to get quality sleep unless they get it on the plane. How did that come about?
Well, let's just go through it. I'll go quickly, right? Day starts at 8 o'clock. We come in here. We have our meetings, team meeting at 9 o'clock. Everything's moving very fluid and good, right? Fine. About to get on the bus and leave, kind of get a message, hey, we got some issues going on with the plane. We'll be fine. So we leave, a couple minutes later. We get on the bus, get to the airport. We're on the plane, sitting there, kind of doze off because, that's the best sleep you can get on the plane. Right. It's quiet. And about an hour later, I realized we haven't moved. And now, I start to see the players, and I see some stuff going on. I'm like, hey, listen, man, we can't do this. So we made a decision, myself, talked to Telesco about it. Look, we're just going to reset our whole day. So we got off the plane, got on the bus, came back to the facility, told everybody to come back in 5 hours. And we did all our meetings here at the facility at headquarters, and then got back on the plane at 6 o'clock, 6:30, took off at 7:15. Wow. Landed, got to the airport in New Orleans, say around 12:20, 12:15. Got to the hotel at 12:30. I think I went to sleep at 2 a.m. and got up and played. And, it was really interesting because I was a little nervous. Got up in the morning for breakfast, went down there, and I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, how many guys are here? They're like, Coach, everybody's here. And this is 8 o'clock in the morning, so we only slept for about 6, 7 hours. I'm like, oh, we're good. I'm not even worried about it. And you can just see their bright eye. And the good part about it was a positive, agitated, pissed-off group.
Yeah. Right.
They weren't. They're like, we're not going to use this as an excuse. It's just another obstacle for us, right? We dealt with adversity all year. And that's the one thing I said in my post-game, and I said to the team, and I've been saying all year with this team hasn't flinched. There's been no blinking. There's been no bitching or complaining. Guys just line up and play, man. That's the good part about it. The culture, the standard, the way we go about our business is what it is. I get the results for what they are, but these guys have a mindset of just playing football and whatever it takes to play.
And your equipment group has to go right to the dome. That's what I want to get into. They don't get to sleep. They're up and they go to the dome. They got to set the lockers up, get everything going. How about a game ball for what those guys
First of all, everybody on that plane that traveled with us gets a game ball because that was a hell of a job by our entire organization of just, listen, man, by all means necessary, get it done. They had to go to the stadium, like you're talking about, to get that ready and prep for the next day. And everybody involved it was all hands on deck. Let's be honest, all hands on deck. And it's weird. We kind of relished it. Everybody kind of got excited, like, hey, what can I do? Can I help? And really hands off to our support staff and everybody, our coaches, everybody, man. Everybody on that plane, nobody, there was no blinking, man. There was no complaining. It was really good to see. And I think that's why you saw the joy and excitement from the team post-game. Because, hell, we went through all this, and this is what we did? We went out there and dominated for 60 minutes? It wasn't close. No. All right, let's make sure we understand that. This team played their asses off for 60 minutes. And that's all we've been asking for our team to do late in the season. In a what? When everybody says a meaningless game, what the hell does that mean? We're pro players. We're pro coaches. We get paid to play 17 games in an 18-game season. And that's what they did. And my hat's off to our organization, our team.
Let's get on to the Chargers. It's kind of tough to look at them there. You know the team, you're very familiar, but what are they playing for with their playoff position? How do you coach that, wondering what's going to happen with their position on Sunday?
I'd love to answer that question about the Chargers, but this is about the Raiders.
Okay.
We entered the year in 2024 with a win. Mm-hmm. We're going to start the year in 2025 with a win. And that's our mindset, that we're going to win this game. We're going out there. I hope they play their starters for 60 minutes. I don't want to hear no excuses. That's not our problem. Our job is to finish the season on a 3-game winning streak. We want to win this game for our organization, for our fans, for our team, for all the guys that's busted their ass throughout this entire time, through the ups and downs of the season, and kind of put a bow on this 2024 season in 2025 with a win.
One last thing on the Chargers, their philosophy now. They have Herbert who can throw it as good as anybody, but they wanted to turn into a running team this year. So when we look at Jim Harbaugh and what you've seen from the team this year, what type of description would you give to the Chargers?
Yeah, they're physical. They're physical. I mean, they're downhill. There's no fair dodging. Okay. They don't hide what they're going to do. They come in, they bring this big fullback in, 300-plus pounds, number 44. They got the big running backs behind them, and obviously they got a very talented, elite quarterback. They can make all the throws, and we know what we're up for. And this is a great challenge, a great way for us to really put on display for our home crowd, Raider Nation, one last time in the 24th season and get this dub at home.
Happy New Year, Coach.
Happy New Year's.